Jeffrey James. I'm a television presenter, that's an anchor. I read the news, I interview people, I do current affairs shows. I've worked for a very long time in television, but I started off working in music television in Australia a long time ago before moving into factual television, news, current affairs, you know, heavy stuff like that. I knew about BTS when they did the first United Nations address, which I thought was startling and most impressive, that these 7 guys would stand up in those black suits, looking like very young diplomats, and address the United Nations with such, the General Assembly, with such confidence and such sincerity, and speaking about wonderful things which affect the next generation, the generation now before them. You know, everyone's getting older, even BTS. One day Jungkook will get older. What they talked about in regard to the environment, in regards to gender equality or gender issues, LGBT issues, all of that was wonderful to see, and it was very brave. I just thought they were great. BTS songs, don't listen to BTS songs, but I can't stop listening to Dreamers, and then from, which we'll talk about that in a second. From going to Dreamers, I then saw Euphoria and saw a whole lot of the other stuff that Jungkook had done. So there's no favorite BTS song except Dreamers and Euphoria and others that I have seen him do. So I'm focusing on him with all respect to BTS, who are clearly magnificent artists, all of them in their own right. But my focus is on the one star. According to my first real interaction with them, where I thought this is fantastic, was the last performance I think that they did, which was at the Grammy Awards, and I thought that was stellar, where they were all in the audience and they did this sort of James Bond routine. I thought that was amazing, and I thought, where do they go from here? They've done so many great things. That piece of music resonated with me. I thought that was great. I think as much their incredible performance, I was watching it on some of the videos on YouTube of their performance at Good Morning America, which seems to be where it all started for the Americans, and other, you know, talk shows, Graham Norton at BBC in London, where I noted that Jungkook had been injured and was talking about stitches in his foot. So it's a tough gig, this whole BTS thing. Anyone who would imagine that they sort of, you know, just come on stage and do it, then they go back and are fanned and spoon-fed caviar, would be in for some shocks. And I've had a lot to do with bands and with individual artists and very big stars, and they work as hard as anybody else, with stakes which are just so very high. I listened with great fascination as someone who has perfect pitch and studied classical music for 5 years, and composed in my early years and did all kinds of stuff like that. I found it intriguing to listen to him, in fact, do the backups. There was a video which isolated the backup singing that he had done, and his voice is, it's like crystal. It's unique, it's beautiful. There are aspects of it that could be compared to Dimash, who is probably the greatest singer in the world at this time. Not the most popular, but he is a unique talent with a 6 or 7 octave range, but doesn't have. It's a whole different product. So my interest has been in beautiful voice, beautiful creatives, beautiful presentation, beautiful dancing, a beautiful face, and a charisma, a style, and a genre of music which takes us to the spectacular, as Michael Jackson, the army, the BTS army. What strikes me when I read through some of the comments that have come back is how warm and loving you are to your idols and to Jungkook. There is a genuine sense, not of sort of mad fandom, but of a genuine understanding of him, his talent, and his growth, which is intelligent, and it's also loving. That's what I feel. And I was surprised by that. No one wanted to cut my head off. That was really good. And I think you're a cool group. That's what I think. A cool group supporting the coolest of all groups. That's what I think. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you.